Hey homies, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Inking with the Ink King. I'm your Ink King, Ryan Wynn. You shall bow before me and my awesome inks. Or, go ahead and sit back, relax, and watch me ink some monks with a brush marker. So, this is a page from a short story for It Came Out on a Wednesday, which is an Alterna Comics anthology. It's for issue 7, I believe. Going to be out in August, and it's from the World of Gods and Gears, and that is a series that is launching in September from Alterna, which I am writing and coloring, and Dean Kotz is penciling and inking. Now, why am I inking this page? Well, this short story came to us kind of last minute, or the opportunity came to us last minute. So Dean had already had a plan to go to Thailand and with his girl, and they're out vacationing, having some fun there. So he did all the pencils, sent them my way, and now I'm inking them. So I earlier did a video using a brush for these mountains, and now we're going to use a brush marker. I popped open a fresh one. I love these things. And we're going to ink up these monks with a brush marker. So here we go. Now the zebra pen is really sharp when you first open it. But it's a fairly soft felt tip. You can bear down good. I believe it's the exact same as the Tombos, but I think there's only 2 sizes in the Tombos. But they have these at the Japanese dollar store by my house called Daiso. You may have a Daiso near you if you are on the West Coast, maybe New York. So I want to outline these guys first. And they have kind of a bold outline. There's going to be a bright light coming this way from them, but since they're breaking the panel border, I don't want to go as thin as I normally would there. Their heads sort of act as a divide from the previous panel. But we're still going to go heavy on the undersides, kind of bold to make stuff pop. Oh, sorry for that clang sound. I have a Alright, so we got about 2.5 minutes in there, and my phone shut off because I forgot to put it in airplane mode, and it went into some update that I had to wait for. So I went in and did the rest of the sort of lightning-y, smoky shape, broken up panel borders, and closed in a few other spots, and this or that. So we'll get back to inking our monks here. These are the main characters, by the way, in the story. This guy's name is Oscar. He goes by Ozzy. And this is Nuna, and they are cousins. They're not boyfriend and girlfriend or anything like that. It's not a romantic story in that way. All right, so using this zebra marker, I'm gonna get back into these monks here. Alright, so as I have talked about before, I spin the page around a lot when I ink, and probably a lot more than other people, and I find it extremely, extremely useful. I want to keep the same comfortable line going when possible. Most of the lines I want a similar shape or ability, so when I'm moving this way I can go thin to thick, thick to thin. I can make all sorts of great lines just like this, so I tend to keep the board moving and keep my hand in place. Alright, that time I don't know what happened. I'm doing my usual setup, and there was no update or anything. That time the phone just stopped recording. So I want to keep the energy going, so if I repeat something I said, I apologize. Alright, so try to talk about what I'm working on here, so I won't repeat. Going in and doing the rendering on the face. Dean did these really cool little monk dudes that are here to teach our characters, some stuff. I'm going very, let's see, fantasy archetype on a lot of characters. Like there's going to be like Native Americans and obviously monks from 1,000 years ago and things like that. But, you know, like everyone thinks of monks as peaceful, and in literature and stories a lot of times they are, but in reality it's kind of really harsh. And people say like, oh, it's not, you know, Buddhism's not a religion, but in a lot of these countries it is, and it's pretty harsh there. Like if you've got deformities, they think that, you know, you sinned in a past life and they'll treat you like crap. And not all Buddhists and stuff, I'm just saying. But I know people are going to be like, oh, you know, you showed them as peaceful. They're not really. Someone always finds something to complain about. But I'm just saying it now. I'm sort of doing the literature trope versions of cowboys and Indians and monks and stuff. Because we're just having fun with these stories. We may touch a little bit on stuff like environmentalism, but not in any other way than like just taking care of stuff. That's probably about as opinionated as anything in my stories. I don't even mean that as a selling point. I just mean I don't even know if I could write something like trying to teach people something. Like I feel like I would really fail. It would be really bad. Like trying to teach some kind of message in my story or something. I feel like it would just feel like propaganda or something like that. So the few things I do write, I don't know, I just try to have fun with. Alright, now we're getting in and doing some of this rendering on this guy. I think I might save these for a big old brush. Go in there and blap, blap, blap. Hit them with a brush. Alright, so got these bald guys. Where do you start on a bald guy's head? Sometimes I start here and get these sides down. I don't recommend doing it like this. This is how I do it now. While I'm here, I'm going to hit these ears. Rest of this contour. Bibbidi bam. Thin on the inside there. A little bolder on the outside. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, this brush marker is breaking in a little bit now. Starting to like that. Man, I'm checking the phone in paranoid manner now to make sure it's recording. I should probably just get a decent camera set up, but for now, dealing with the phone. Phone is my camera. But I got this Samsung Galaxy, was it 8? Something like that. It's got an amazing camera on it. Alright, so I'm starting to think that Joseph Cooper from Feast and Famine, the artist on Alterna's comic Feast or Famine, I'm thinking he might ink with these. He and Dean have a very similar art style, but Dean inks with different tools. But as I ink Dean with these tools, it kind of starts to look like Joseph Cooper to me. I think his name's Joseph Cooper. Yeah, it's gotta be. I'm always confident about stuff until I say it while I'm recording. And then I'm like, ah, crap, is that really his name? Is that who I'm thinking of? Luckily, this is on YouTube. Someone will let me know in the comments if I'm incorrect. Hopefully nicely, but... Alright, looks like we are still recording. Nice. My last video was a time lapse. Excuse me. And this one I wanted to do a real time one. Because I want to start sharing a lot more of the fun process stuff and just connecting more with people as we lead up to the Gods and Gears release. I really like this approach to connecting with people, because one thing I like about conventions is getting to meet people and talk to people, and now it's so easy to do that without having to spend all the money to do a convention, because like, man, I rarely make money at a convention, and I don't mean that to whine, but I don't do a lot of the unlicensed prints. I have done some stuff at the last few conventions where you're just doing like sort of pop culture characters, but I really don't like doing that. I do that kind of because you have to try to make any kind of money, but I really wish people weren't, making, people including me, weren't making prints off of characters they don't own. I think it's a strange precedent to set. Especially because somebody did create those characters, and I don't know, I don't feel so weird like making money off like a Batman print or something, but I don't know, that's weird, because in the old day when I started off inking, you really only made prints of covers that you had worked on, or if you did a single character, it was a character that you had earned your way onto that book for a while. And that was sort of the spoken rule amongst comic pros, at least the ones I knew and talked to and came up around. Because I've been going to conventions since I was around 12, 42 now, so I got 30 years of going to conventions and talking to artists under my belt. And I've been working as a pro and with pros since my early 20s, so almost 20 years. And I don't even know where I was going with this now. You have to rewind. You have to stop the video, go back and see where I'm going, because I started looking at these hands and going, oh man, those hands are pretty loose. Those hands are pretty loose. And then the voice in my head just started going, oh, those hands are pretty loose. I totally lost track of whatever I was saying about conventions and stuff. Why isn't that when my phone shut off? Come on, technology. Work for me once in a while. And Dean's watching this going, man, why are you talking trash on how loose those hands are? I had to get on a plane to Thailand, bro. You come to me with this last minute deadline? Give me the script all late. So yeah, in this story we're trying to, I had the idea for the story and then basically wanted to know what time periods and stuff did Dean want to draw. And he only had a couple that he wanted to draw, and there were a couple things I wanted to see him do. I think this was one of the ones I wanted to see him do. I think he really only chose the Old West. We got some Old West we're going to be showing. And hopefully this doesn't seem like spoilers to anybody. There aren't too many spoilers, and most of them are in the dialogue. The art is mostly almost like storybook. There's a narrator kind of speaking over most of it. That way we could really see what Dean does with a lot of different settings and character types and stuff. We got some really cool ones. There's dinosaurs. There's all kinds of cool stuff. I don't know. I'm spoiled. I made friends with Dean years ago, and I've wanted to have a book for him to work on for years. I wanted to write something for him. I'm not even much of a writer. I consider myself a storyteller. Real writers write all the time and are really good with grammar and write all kinds of different things, and all I want to do is write a few comic books in my life. I have a few good ideas and I know how to tell a story. I'm decent with grammar. I have friends that are better that check out my work and help me edit it, so that's good. Highly recommend that. Even if you're a good storyteller, if you're not good with grammar, either get good with it or have a friend that's good at it. I'm better at catching typos by other people than I am by myself, and that's how a lot of people are, so it's always good to have a friend proofread and edit your work. It's good to have friends that are smarter than you. I try to hang out. I try to be the dumbest guy in the room all the time. And when it doesn't work, that's when you're in trouble. That was my approach when I was a young inker. Was I always wanted to be the least talented guy on the book. I wanted the writer to be a super popular, talented guy. I wanted the penciler to be super talented and popular. I wanted the colors to be talented and popular. I wanted the letterist to be talented and popular. I was going to try to come up with some joke, but then I thought that would seem like I'm down on letters, and then I'd have to go into that I'm not, and this or that. Letters are sensitive. You gotta watch out. Just kidding. Alright, I think I missed a knuckle here on this hand. Alright, anyone sticking with me through all this? Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm trying to, I don't know, I'm still trying to figure out what kind of videos I should do that are, specific to my channel and sort of my brand and stuff. So don't hesitate to give me ideas. Let me know what you guys think. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I do I've tried all kinds of different stuff and different approaches, just playing around. I think I'm eventually going to do a mix of everything. I think I'd eventually like to, or maybe even by this summer, get something going where I have, maybe it's like a half-hour show that I put together each week, kind of follow the model of one longer episode with different segments, and then break up the segments. And do something where I discuss what I'm working on, or do something like this, like a live ink, or not live ink, but a real-time inking, and then maybe do like a running laps episode. Maybe do like a flip through a book or something. But I want it to be distinct. I want it to be different from what Richard Friend is doing. If you're not following Richard Friend, go follow him. He's got an amazing channel right now. And he's doing a lot of stuff that, like, I don't know, I was thinking of doing, and then I was like, well, he's doing it, so I'll just tell people to go watch him doing it, and I'll try to figure out a more unique approach for my channel. So that's what I'm thinking about. So again, let me know your thoughts. Anyone watching this far in, you're obviously a friend or fan or whatever, and I'm curious what more you'd like to see from me, or what you'd like to see less of, or any thoughts you have on a guy that's mostly known as an inker but sometimes writes in colors. But I like connecting with people like this. Whoa, did you see that? Look at that. I went to spin the pen and I lost it. I've done that before with, throughout the ages. Let's see, I got a mark right there. I'll mess up there as I was going in for the clouds. Basically, I was holding like this, and as I went to tilt it upright, because if you go upright and you hold it really lightly, you only get the very tip of the pen touching, so you can get some really thin lines, which is what I want for these clouds in the background. Really thin. I want them to drop away in the background. And they're going to be in an envelope of clouds anyways, so it's going to just be kind of a gray-blue in the background, and there'll be another gray-blue. So we got some time left. We are going to hit up these monks really quick with a Pentel brush marker. Let's see how this bad boy does on here. It's a pretty heavy brush, but you get some pretty decent lines, and you get some nice bloops from it. Call those bloops. These folds. You can see, I don't know if on video you can see his side of the pencil shading that he does, and I kind of want to follow that. So you can even kind of hold the brush at an angle to kind of get a chisel tip from it. And then break out here with some rendering. I forgot to do the bottom panel border first. Normally I recommend and I do all my panel borders first, but this one I had waited because I wanted to do the figures and then line up these broken panel shapes to wherever the figures or the things breaking them were. But I should have done the straight parts anyways, so I could work in here. So we'll just be mindful of that. Here we can do big brush strokes to fill it in, and we can leave those little white spots there. Kind of works as a rim light on the shadows. I don't know how much I like using this brush marker on actual pages. It's got an okay bounce, but it's not the same as a sable hair. And the way it sort of siphons ink from its inkwell, it tends to be inconsistent. And I think you only notice that when you're trying to be really precise. When I use these in my sketchbooks or at conventions or whatever, I'm not really bothered by them. So right now it's not so bad either because it's just filling in these black shapes, but I just messed up a little there. I kind of have to just clean that up there. There we go. Yeah, because the problem that happens when it's inconsistent is that you'll be, say you're doing something like this, and as you start to bear down, the bending of the brush, I think, pulls ink from it faster. So I guess you can adjust to that. But it doesn't happen every time. It just happens like the ink must get, just low enough in the brush. I mean, they're pretty good. It's pretty consistent for a brush marker. These things used to suck years ago. I do like, it looks like it's pretty black. I have to go over it again. Here, we're going to go try and super simple here. I just want big black shadows. I don't want much rendering on this background figure. And if it dries up a little here in the bottom, that's okay. Yeah, there we go. I like a little dry brush here on this background figure. But then this guy, we want a little wetter. Still checking the timer on the video to make sure it's running every couple minutes. Because, man, whenever it shuts down on you, it's always such a bummer. On my last video, I lost the recording. I was using a new video editor, and I went to just add something that I downloaded. And when you go to do it like that on the phone, it just it restarts the app as if you're doing a new video. So I had lost like my dialogue and my editing and everything, and I was pretty bummed. So when that happens, you try to rally. What you want to do is you want to make it even better than what you had, which is sometimes tough because sometimes a first take is the best you're going to do, whether it's music or recording audio for your YouTube video or even a brush stroke. Sometimes trying to mimic something you've done already, sort of off the top of your head or in an improv style. Trying to mimic that can sometimes lead to disaster. So you want to have a fresh take on it so that you have that fresh energy. Get some little weight there. There we go. Alright, there we have our monks. Thank you for joining me for this longer real-time inking video. I have been your Ink King, Ryan Wynn. Thank you for bowing down before me and my awesome inks. Leave your comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Trying to build this channel and create some fun entertainment for you guys as we lead up to the release of Gods and Gears. And remember, this story it came out on a Wednesday in August, and Gods and Gears will be out as a 4-issue mini in October or September with Dean Kotz on art, me on writing and colors, on newsprint for $1.50. So until my next video, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, take it easy.